recorded live from New Graham Pharmacy in downtown Bluefield, Virginia. It's the next installment of the New Graham Knives Knife Show. Where are you going?
That's checking the clock before we get started. There we go.
All right, that's nice. Okay, well, we're here with my old HK hat here, and we're going to talk about a few of the new knives that we got in this week. A lot of people have been commenting that my webmaster hadn't been doing his job and getting new knives on the website, which is sort of true. So anyway, he's got some new things on here, and we're going to talk about a few of them that we've added this past week. First of all, you want to pan down to these things here? Where are you at anyway?
I was doing a really super close up on your mouth.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. This guy's getting bored. This is not good. Anyway, look at the knives. We're here for the knives, not for me, okay? I got all kinds of things. First thing we're going to look at is Spyderco's newest addition to their Copa line. This was the jig bone Copa. Only 600 of these made. Nice little feeling knife in the hand, very traditional. A lot of maybe some older gentlemen that like more traditional handles, but you're trying to move them into a a little more modern style of pocket knife. This may actually work very well for them. Absolutely wonderful. It's a mid-lock back. It's got the Boyd in it. VG10 steel on this knife. Got a pocket clip where it carries tip down. But, it has the jig bone handles, which are very traditional. Something you see a lot of times in slip joints. Nice feel with this knife in the hands. Very nice little small knife. Blade length, I'm not real sure. We didn't bring anything up here to measure with today, but most jurisdictions you can probably get away with carrying this little puppy. Next one from Spyderco is, and unfortunately as of tonight, Spyderco hadn't been real good in shipping me a whole lot of these. This is the Tenacious, absolutely wonderful little folding pocket knife. Spyderco has this under their brand name, even though this is made in China. Excellent little ergonomics on this knife. It's a liner lock. If you can, I don't see how, if you can get in there real good and let people see how good that thing locks up. This is just a standard specimen, nothing fancy, just the one we pulled off the shelf. No blade play in this thing at all. Up, down, lateral, horizontal, nothing there at all. Got bronze washers. You can see them shining through the pocket clip holes here. It's drilled on all four corners, tip up, down, left or right. This has the HCR13 MOV steel. It's a flat grind. Ergonomics on the knife, very nice. Just flips right open. Spyderco's really outdone themselves to bring something, sub $50 and a very strong folder G10 handles. They've hit a home run with this knife. They really have, I think.
You mentioned the price is $31.25.
Yeah. Well, I said sub 50. This thing's really about 30 bucks if you stop and think about it. It's got dual steel liners on it. Nice knife, really is. They've done a very good job with that. The last Spyderco we're going to talk about today is in a bird line. This is their big wings knife. People that have followed Spyderco down through the years, this is going to look like one of the dyads that they've had out. This is a double liner lock. That didn't flip real good there, did it? It's got a plain edge. Like I said, it's a liner lock. Close that up. You can come in here to a fully serrated blade. It's drilled on all four corners, tip up, down, left, right, and I guess either way you have it, one tips up, one tips down on this one. Can't go wrong on that, can I? Is that G? I don't know. Is that G10? Do you know? I'm showing my ignorance here. I'm sorry. And Tommy's ignorant too. It's got a black handle. Looks like G10.
Yeah, it's G10. You can see
the lines in there.
See the lines there.
Yeah. Okay, so we've decided this is a G10 handle. This is impromptu, don't you, folks? Okay. So, anyway, yeah, actually it's got G right here, so that would be a G10. Yeah.
And that includes a sheath also, not just a clip. You can carry it either way.
Yeah, you can pop that clip off if you want to, slip it in the sheath if you want to do that. Anyway, moving on so we don't run too long. Chad Los Panos. Little folder he's got out. This is just a continuation of the line of Chad's little you know, thin pocket knives. You can tell how thin that knife is.
From Boker.
It's an Evoker Plus line. It's got a thumb opener, dual thumb studs. Also got a finger flipper on it. It's a frame lock. You can carry it one side, tip up, tip down. The G10 handles over here aren't drilled, but the stainless steel is. It's got some holes drilled in here to kind of lighten the weight. It's not much weight in this at all. It's AUS 8 steel. The way he's got this jimped in here and the way this flipper actually works for a finger coil really gives you a lot of control, a lot of purchase on this knife. It makes it feel much sturdier in your hand than a small knife would, generally. Nice knife, really is. Chad does a bang-up job on this line of knives he's got out. Cold steel, a lot of controversy on cold steel knives running through the forums when I do some reading. Some people love them, some hate them. This is a very nice fixed blade. This isn't anything new. This is an outdoorsman, and we put it in because we had several calls for it, and it's one of those knives we just kind of happened to miss in our inventory, quite frankly. It's a VG1 Sanmai laminate steel on that knife. Nice feel. It's got a craton handle. It's got some jimping right here that's probably a little more decorative than anything else, in my opinion. It's got a little chopper. And this is not sharpened here, but we decided that's probably for some heavy chopping. The knife may be a little bit lightweight for that, but it's still a very solid fixed blade knife. Comes with a high quality pouch sheath. Solid pommel on the back end of this thing. Feels good in my hand, it really does. It's not too heavy to carry day in, day out in the woods. Nice offering from Cold Steel, I think. Whoa, a couple of more Spydercos hiding over here. Gee whiz, I forgot all about those. These are the Caspian salts. You're looking at the 1 and the Caspian 2 right here. Very similar knives to one another. Biggest difference, one's a spear tip and one's a blunt tip. These, I guess, are really, you know, more like dive knives or H1 steel, which is that high stainless steel. The hardware is stainless on these. They have a FRN handle on them to give you a little bit better purchase. Got nice jimping here. It's got a rope cutter built into it there. Partially serrated. Grinds on this particular knife we've got are just absolutely beautiful. When this knife's put in the hand, when you're looking at it on a box or on a table, and they don't, you know, you kind of look at it and say, well, that's really kind of odd looking. But in keeping with the way Sal does things, once you pick this knife up and put it in your hand, all of a sudden you start realizing how functional the design of this knife is. You can use the finger hole. You can come down here if you want to. They've got jimping in here for the index finger if you drop down like this. Finger hole feels very comfortable to me. Nice. If you had a mind to, you could probably cord wrap that handle if you're good at doing something like that. The Caspian too, and we've got one out here with a sheath. One thing that you need to know, this sheath doesn't have any accommodations for fitting on your belt. This is mainly just a lash on to either equipment or your leg. It's a locking sheath. If you had it upside down, it won't come out. In order to release it, you just put your finger through the index and it slides right out. You've got you there, and you can tell a blunt tip here. Let's see. Kind of get an idea of the difference in the two of them. This is a Caspian 2 with a blunt tip, but you know, very good divers getting in there doing some prying and digging. Really advantageous to have that tip. It's a very strong tip on this. Again, grinds very nice on this specimen we've got here. Again, it has that rope cutter that we showed on the 1 series. Very nice H1 steel. Got a good look at that?
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. No more Spydercos. We're not trying to play favorites. Which way are you going here? You going to look here? Kershaw Junkyard Dog 2. Only 1,000 of these fellas made. It's got a titanium handle. It's a frame lock. The pocket clip only positions in one place, which is a tip down carry. It's a finger flipper. Oop, didn't do real good there. This fella has SG2 and then 410 laminate steel on this blade. You can see, I don't know if you can get a good picture of that Hayman line. Not truly a Hayman line, it's just the division where the laminate fits. But very nice knife. It's lightweight, ergonomically in the hand. Feels very good, I think. Like I said, titanium handles on this fella. High-end knife, only 1,000 of these made by Kershaw. Comes with a real nice little storage pouch too, but you'll want to carry that knife. It's a nice knife, truly is. We'll go over here and look at these. We've had a real tough time getting a hold of a Marlin knife recently since Camillus went out of business, and you know, this is really a niche-oriented knife, no question. But you know, we found a company. This is made over in China. It's got G10 handles, brass pins on this fella. It's got a nice locking Marlin spike on it. Those that wonder what in the world is a Marlin spike for, okay, well, it was really designed to pick knots out of on the rigging on big sailing ships. You know, you have these big ropes, and they tie those knots, and of course they get a lot of tension on them. So you could actually take this fella, work it in between the knots, and pry them apart. Fella obviously would make some kind of interesting self-defense tool, but now nevertheless, this locks open. In order to release it, pull back on this lever, and you can tell what kind of springs this has got. There's no doubt you heard that. It also comes with a little Warncliffe or sheep's foot blade on here. Maybe not the highest grade knife that we carry, but it's an excellent working tool for those that have call for a Marlin spike knife, and we do have these in stock finally. We've been hurting for these things. This is called a Catalina. Also had some calls for some straight razors. We carried straight razors back when Case was having them made in Germany, and we kind of, when they quit manufacturing and bringing them in, we kind of got away from them. We picked up a company called Dovo, picked up a couple of theirs. They're made in Germany. This is both the two versions we have wood handles. This one's got a little silver engraving plate if you wanted to have it engraved. Stay away from these edges on these, they're very fragile. Nice high-end knife for a straight razor. Folks that are kind of interested in something like that, you know, Dovo is definitely something you need to be considering. It's a good line of straight razors. We also keep sharpening strops for these. I don't have any paste though, and I'm not real sure if that's something we need to be stocking. You know, somebody that's really into the strops may let us know something on that. Okay, last thing we're going to look at is 4 new offerings that we've got in stock from Chris Reeve Knives. And this is going to be a little primer on mammoth ivory while we're at it, okay? We have here a Menandi with mammoth ivory. We have a small Sabenza with mammoth ivory. We have a large Sabenza with mammoth ivory. All of these are mammoth ivory. And you can tell, we've got one here with almost no coloration to it at all. Just the true ivory color. This has got a tinge of tan in it. We've got another mammoth ivory that's got some coloration to it, some streaks, but it's not what we call bark ivory. Then here's another one that's real dark. And then we go into a bark ivory here that truly may be the prettiest Chris Reeve knife we've ever had. Absolutely beautiful bark ivory on this knife. It's got Devin Thomas Ladder Damascus. It's 2007 limited. Absolutely beautiful knives. But when you're talking ivory, you can sometimes really run into a lot of variations in the ivory. So if you're in the market for mammoth ivory, you'll need to make a decision. You know, am I looking for something like, you know, this small Sabenza that's a true, you know, creamy ivory color, or am I looking for something in a bark ivory that has the dark striations? A lot of variation in that, you know, whether you deal with us or whoever you might deal with, whether it's Chris Reeve. Case is doing a lot of mammoth ivory too. But if you have particular tastes in your mammoth ivory, you know, call your dealer up and explain that to them. You can probably find what you're looking for, but not every dealer's going to have everything you want. What are you looking at?
Let's see what
You're
the
looking at the
clock.
clock.
It
So
should
we're,
be
what, about
15 minutes. Yeah.
Well, you're the one that laid all these knives out. That's all it was, you know. If we had script, if you sit down and did script and actually produced for me, you know, we could keep this down to some kind of reasonable time length. All right, shut up. I'm shutting up, folks. Thank you. We're going to hit Rambo tonight at the movies. All right, go USA.